A very good evening to all of you and welcome back to our channel The Teacher. This is Rajiv and today I am going to show you how to create this Love, Death and Robots opening credits animation in PowerPoint 2016. So here we have on the left the animation created in PowerPoint and on the right we have the original animation maybe created in After Effects. So have a look first. So that was the entire animation, and here in the VLC I would like to tell you one thing, that when you want to replicate these kind of animations in PowerPoint, then here in VLC what you can do, you can look into the animation deeply by going one frame in a time, and for that you can use the E key from keyboard, and as soon as you will start typing E, it will start moving to the next frame. So if I continuously tap E key, then you can see that it is jumping one frame in a time. So that is very helpful when you want to create these kind of animations. Like here on at this point in the video, if I tap E, then you can see that the N has changed to a rectangle, and as I move forward you can see the next changes on the screen. Here the rectangle gets short and that O converted to an oval, and as I move forward you can see the next steps here. And here you have to note down the effects that you can see in this text here, because that is very important for creating the same animation in PowerPoint, and you will see a lot of changes occurring inside the text here. So but there is a problem in VLC that you can't move to the previous frame using a keyboard shortcut, and for that you can take the help of Camtasia Studio if you have that software. And here you can import that media file like this one and can then drag it to the timeline, and from this slide you can zoom into the timeline. So how that will help you, when you zoom in you can move that tracker here forward. You can also use Control plus middle mouse button to zoom in and zoom out in the timeline, and here you can watch the animation step by step. So the same thing I am doing in the PowerPoint. So as you can see that is the first frame on the second, and that is 4th, 6th, 7th and 9th, 10th, so on. So we have used the same technique in PowerPoint, and let me show you how. Here is the presentation that I have created, and it contains 68 slides to complete that animation. So how I did that, so let me show you from the third slide here, and if I open the animation pan, then you can see what kind of animation I have used here. So you have to take care of the animations in the list, and furthermore you have also take care of the objects used in this presentation, and the same names you will see here in the animation list. So you can hide and show particular objects using the selection pane here, so that will help you to identify the animations properly. And as you can see that in the beginning of the animation it starts with the black background, and as I move forward you can see that the background will change to white, and the rectangle and oval at bottom will change to black. And that is what I have done here using the appear and disappear effects. As you can see here, disappear effects has been applied to a lot of objects, and then appear effect has been applied. You can know that by yourself by downloading this presentation from the link in the description, and can then see that which animations I have used for this presentation. And here you can note down the duration and delay timing and other effect options. So the main important thing to know about this presentation is how the text has been written here, because that is not a text here. These are three different objects, and that is what I am going to tell you in the first phase, and that is I will insert a word art here and type your text. Let me move it on the top. And for this animation particularly, I have used a font called Base Nui. That is right here, and increase the size. Now what I am going to do, I will insert a shape here, a rectangle particularly, and then send it to backward. Now hold on the shift key while selecting the rectangle and then select the text, and then in the format tab go to merge shapes and use intersect command. That way it will change the text to an object. So why I am doing this, because that way you can adjust the size of the text very easily. And I will also use this method in further slides because I want to flip, rotate and shorten the text many times. So that is why I am converting this text into an object here. So after doing that, if I move forward to the next slide, then you can see that on many slides I have not used a single animation, and that is what we have to learn in this presentation, and that is the second technique that I have used, and that is called transition timings. So as you can see here, up to 50th slide from the 4th slide, there is not a single animation has been used. So why I have created these slides is because you can see here the step-by-step animation. So on the 4th slide you can see the text here converted into a rectangle here. Then here I deleted the O and placed an oval here. So how I did this, let me show you quickly by typing the text first, and then let me move it on the top and then draw a rectangle here, send it to backward, select both of these objects and use merge intersect command, and now I want to remove the O here. So here you can use two methods, either hide the O by this rectangle and then select the text and the rectangle and then use merge shape subtract command, and if you will use intersect then it will leave the object behind the rectangle and rest of the characters will get removed. So it is up to you how you want to use this. Using the same method you can also shrink the items, like I want to shorten the eye here. So what I will do, I will draw a rectangle on the top of the eye, then will select the text and the rectangle, and then I will use the subtract command. So that is what I have done in this presentation. On each slide I am changing the text using the same commands. So as you can see here, so the important thing here is the transition timing. What kind of transition timing you will apply here. So from the 4th to 50th slide you can see that I have used a transition timing of 0.08 second. So these are total 10 slides, around 10 slides here, and it will run these slides within a second. So to show you the preview of these particular slide from 4th to 50th slide, what I am going to do, I will use custom slideshow, and here I will add slides. I want to show you 30th, 40th, add these slides, and here I will show you only those slides. So these 10 slides are running within 1 second and creating this kind of effect. That is what I want to tell you here in this tutorial especially. And on the rest of the slides you can see that I have used a very fewer animations, like on the 50th slides. On the 60th slide you can see that I have used grow shrink to make these rounded corner rectangle a little bit larger, and then they move forward this left rectangle move to right and this right rectangle move to left, and then they change their position. And to change their position, I have used the next slide with a less transition timing, a 0.10 second transition timing, and that is how this animation will occur. So here on these slides, as you can see that here is the background is black here, and if I show you this animation in this video, the original video here, so here you can see that effect, especially the skull effect. The skull is turning round and then dropping the blood, and then the background changed back to the white color. So that was the important animation here. So how I did this, for this particular animation I have to use print screen command. I have to take screenshot of this video, particularly this shot, and then move to the next frame and then take the next screenshot. So in Windows 10, if you want to take screenshots, then you can hold down the start key and then press print screen, and that will take a full screenshot of the entire screen, and then move to the next keyframe and then continuously take screenshot up to this. So after taking the screenshot, I have placed each screenshot on a separate slide, and each slide is running within 0.05 seconds. So when these slides run continuously, they will create that particular skull animation in PowerPoint. So from the 26 slide to 37 slide, I will make another custom slideshow here. Click show. So as you can see here, that particular skull effect, you can't make a spin effect here. You can only use horizontal spin effect in Office 365 with a subscription of Office 365, because then only you will find the 3D objects option right here in the illustration section, because these kind of 3D animation is not possible in PowerPoint. So that is why I have to use this technique by running a lot of slides within a shortened time. So on the 38th slide, I have drawn the skull by myself because the background is white and this white background is not matching with the actual white background. That is different, and this one I created by myself by using a rectangle and using format shapes, gradient fill options, gradient fill, radial, and then particular color I have used here. So for this particular skull, I have to use insert shapes freeform command, as I have shown you in my previous videos, and then I have to replicate the same slide several times and then draw these drops, blood drops here, and that is how the entire animation has been presented here. So especially here on the love, when the final title appear, love, death and drop beds, let me show you in the original animation. As you can see here, first of all the L will appear and E will appear, and then E will get shortened and the text will get it to its place. So that is what I also did here. On each slide you can see different objects, and when these slides will run together, they will create that particular animation, and I will show you that by adding these slides to the custom show. And let's see the slideshow. So for this particular animation, that scrolling animation here, on the 46th slide, I have used a technique which I have shown in my previous video called counting numbers text animation effect, and let me show you that. So the same technique I have used in this presentation as well, and here I have used the motion path to move these objects here to the down, and these objects has been drawn using the shape tool as well. So I hope you will like this presentation. Let me know by leaving your valuable comments in the section below, and don't forget to hit the like button, and do share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for more upcoming tutorial videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.